What's good, everybody? It is your host, DC the Beatmaker, hanging out with the homie, the one and only. You know what? I'm gonna shut up real quick. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Who are you?
I'm just somebody working to better my own position so I can enable other people to be their own boss.
Mm,
That's who I am.
mm.
Yeah.
And what can we call you?
Oh yeah, I can call me Steve.
Steve. All right. So we just look up Steve on
But
Spotify.
but more people probably know me by FoePound production though.
Okay.
Steve just for the personal.
For the tight circle,
Yeah, yeah.
dude. We've known each other for we could say a couple of years now, right?
Couple years. Yep, that sound about right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
crazy.
has.
Well, just so some of the people can know, how would you describe how we kind of connected?
You was dodging a collab for the longest. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was a couple months, bro. I feel like it was at least like 2, maybe 3 months. So I be in the sunset session or shit, just hitting that man up. Yo, bro, what's up with the collab? Man, yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. But for some reason, his dodging, it felt different from like when someone normally dodges you. Like, even though it sounded like he was like bullshitting on, yeah, I'm busy and stuff. His didn't feel like it had that sense of malice. I guess I'm used to people dodging me and shit. So the first one was that's why it's called Dodge Neo because this man was dodging me for a good amount of time.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like I think from my experience too, like just working with you, like you're probably one of the most professional people that I work with. Like to see how like I'm not hating anyone on anyone who I just made a beat with and that was it, but like to see how Foe thinks about a beat before, during, and after now, like it's just crazy. And he's always been like that. And I feel like what's cool with you is like you've always expanded on that. Like, and that was before sync licensing Foe, like and all that stuff. So like the fact that you know you'd be one of the first people to turn down a melody or something I'd send to you, like, nah, it doesn't fit. I'm like, what? What? Because I think it's a very common thing in the producer community, especially the lo-fi community. There's a lot of like, we got this, man. For the love of music, we're gonna make this work, and it's just like, I get that. That like that's cool, but if that's what you want to do. But if you're someone who's like, no, I want to take this into the professional realm. I want this to be something that makes you know, an income for me, you can be both loving what you do and seek it in a professional way. And I think you're one of the first people who would be like, nah, I didn't like that. Or can you retry that? And not being used to that, I was a little frustrated at first. I'm like, who's this man telling me what to do? But I was like, but I know it's going to make me better at what I'm doing. So I'm going to respect that. And sure enough, I'm like, oh, this is just, it was cool. It was smooth. So that was my first take on Foe. And, you know, I like that you're no different than how you talk in like a online show like the Critique Clan or the Critique Show, and then how we just talk on a phone call. Like you just
Yo,
genuine 100% of the way, and I appreciate that about you, bro.
see, same, definitely same. Yeah.
So yeah, Dodging Neo is the first collab that we've done, and then as much as I want to go through the other discography and what else we've done, we'll probably do that a little later, because that does involve a man named Jay. It'd be cool to that'd be chaos to get that man in on an interview. I was gonna say a threesome interview, but let's not call it that. A three-way interview. There you go. Uh, but yeah, I kind of want to shift the gears and talk about this latest project you did. Um, Enlighten us, man. And what made you want to do this one, and what's it called, and how did it happen? I'm gonna switch to music
Oh,
though, so go ahead.
let's see. That shit making the album for Amy, that kind of always has been something I thought. Well, I think I start thinking about that more so like last year, like because as far as I think somewhat of it originated with me selling merch. Like I was selling PoundcakeAmy merch, and it was like it felt like it's just like a disconnect. I'm like, Shit. I mean, people know that she is like my mascot, but shit. Okay. So what? So what, nigga? Like, she your mascot. Why I gotta buy it? I mean, she look cool. I mean, she cute as shit. But alright. So what? But yeah. So I like shit. Maybe if it's like she actually, if the character on this that's on the merch actually has a story, maybe that could help for merch. And also like shit, why she don't have a story? Like she her own person too. So I'm like shit, why not? So from there, kind of took some time increasing the musical ability to be able to do it. Because I mean, shit, if I would have tried it last year, that shit would have been ass. Like shit, straight would just be ass. Like I didn't have the songwriting capability or enough knowledge to create the sounds I needed to convey certain emotions. Cause shit, the idea of making beats where it's I this beat has this purpose, this beat needs to invoke this emotion or this emotion. I ain't necessarily have that, especially at the start of last year. So get more into sync to definitely help create this first album to tell part of Amy's story. So
That's cool. I have one more question before we kind of drop the vocals and we just listen to the beat real quick for the listener. How did it, like, Amy start? Like, was anime something you were always into? Was, who is Amy? Like, how'd you be like, you know what, PoundcakeAmy? Yep, that's yeah.
That shit actually started on. I think it started on like the Nintendo Switch. Like I don't know if you know that game, Pokken Tournament. It is basically like Tekken, but it's with Pokemon. Like it's actually 1-on-1, and y'all actually running the fade instead of like on Pokemon Stadium where y'all
just take turns.
You click your move. Yeah, it wasn't none of that. It was actually like y'all running the fade, y'all sidestepping, y'all doing all that. So the game
That's
Pokemon
cool.
Tournament. So on there, it was like I had to create my character, but the dudes they look like chicks. So I'm like, if my dude gonna look like a chick, I might as well just pick a chick. I'm like, what I'm gonna name the chick? And then I was like, PoundcakeAmy, girl version of my name. That's what an original name came from, and then later on, it kind of
pound cake. Okay.
Yeah, PoundcakeAmy. So and the chick, the avatar, kind of look like her name might be an Amy or something like that. So that's where the original name came from. But then after that, as far as when it came to music, I believe it came because I was looking for something that represented my music or something, and I was like, women of color, they fucking beautiful. So I'm like, yo, I want to have a woman of color on my shit. And I'm like, what is her name gonna be? Then PoundcakeAmy just came in my head. So I'm like, PoundcakeAmy it is, and it started from there. Yeah, all those previous tapes and stuff like that, I mean, I don't feel like they actually do her any justice because, I mean, shit, she was just a mascot at that time. So now she's an actual person. So,
that's cool, man. Well, like I said, folks, I'm gonna shut up and I want you guys to hear the first track. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm gonna turn up the volume a bit. Boom. There you go, folks. I'm gonna lower that again. That's the intro right there. Hi, I'm Amy, and I saw that we have a collab from Jay Fatty on there. How was it like working with the homie? And yeah.
I mean, I
Hmm.
like the random idea I had of in the start of the track. Like,
That
yo,
chick.
I was thinking of yeah,
That was
what
cool.
it was supposed to be. What it's supposed to be is us mimicking the hi hats in that part. I was like, that shit might sound kind of cool. And having the young son do the part gave it that childish touch, like that wholesomeness, the cuteness, and shit. Really, it's just supposed to kind of give you an idea of who she is. Like, all right, she got some wholesomeness. She kind of cool. She kind of sweet. She kind of mellow. Like you can kind of get all that from the track. She kind of upbeat, so you know she kind of upbeat personality and shit like that. So mega smooth. I mean, this was the I think this is the only track on the album where I did like solo. Like at the end, the playing the bells, that was just the whole part was just me having the solo. Shit you
Yeah.
need to do.
Yeah, I noticed that solo at the end. That was cool, man. And do you have Jay doing? Is he a part of the Chickas, or what's Jay doing on this track?
Is he? I forget if Jay did the chicker. I forget. I don't think he did, but nah, I know for sure. Yeah, he did some snaps added with some extra drums in there to like thicken up some shit I already had in there. So yeah,
Okay, nice. Well, with that being said, y'all been vibing out to Hi, I'm Amy. We're gonna move on to the next track. I'm appreciating this interview, and this is cool.
see
All right, we're gonna listen to "My Mom Is a Great Chef, chef." My
what is that? A chef? She cooked with the left hand. That's what it is. The chefty.
Chefty with the lefty. Let's go. My mom is a great chef, featuring your boy DC the Beatmaker. So let's get it. Whoa. So that, folks, was "My Mom Is a Great Chef." Uh, yeah. How'd that one come about? How'd you feel about making it? And next question, or maybe you could tell me about it on for the "Hi, I'm Amy." But what's one of your favorite parts about each track when we start going through them?
Oh, hi, I'm Amy is definitely the intro part with the
Mm-hmm.
chicka I part.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt so mm, shit felt very wholesome. The shit like makes me feel like a one of them animes where it's like you feel the heartfelt moments or something like that. So definitely that part on that track.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. On my mom is a great chef. I'm not really sure. Like I feel like on that one, if it's difficult to pinpoint a specific spot because every spot kind of it feels like its own part of an episode or something, and it sounds cool. Like I mean, the way you arranged it, it seemed like it tells its own kind of story, and it just gives a cool vibe. And there's a lot of different shit going on in it too. Oh yeah, if y'all ain't know, like DC made that, I just kind of adjusted some of the arrangement and pretty much just added the end part. So yeah, the track I believe was originally called Subaki. Was it just Subaki or was something else?
It was just Subaki. For those who don't know, that was originally going to be on Charisma. I think I was just really attached to the song. Like, I was really happy with the arrangement and everything. I was like, this is cool. Hey, what you doing? I didn't say you could go to the next songs. My bad. Spotify out here being rogue. But yeah, this one was cool, and I was like, oh, I don't want to give this up. But as soon as me and Foe started talking, because I asked these guys to check out my playlist or my song list or track order for Charisma. And when this song came up, hearing it with everything, I was like, like as much as I like it, it doesn't fit. And like, if you don't know the critique show that's hosted on Foe's show, he does one of these things where he's listening and you just see this or the arms crossed and legs up, and he's just like, and like that means like you made something. Hold up, you made something that spoke to him, and he don't give that often, which is funny because I've even submitted some stuff under different aliases that I've made, and Fo was like, nah, I don't like this, I don't like that. I was like, I'm like, all right. I was like, I'm gonna get him one of these days, and I saw that happen. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get this track up because we were talking back and forth, and he was like, I feel like this could fit the Amy project, and it's cool too because you're gonna find out that I'm kind of scattered all over this project, and it's cool. I feel like Fo is just one of those people who I could just quickly work with. I could hear what he wants, and like, all right, I could do that, or I'll just send him stuff and just hear what he does with it. I'm like, wow, like he made it evolve into something really cool. So this Subaki, which is now My Mom is a Great Chef, was a really hard track to give up, but I'm happy with, like, to see that it's a part of this project fits so much better, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I feel like you made it for this, but you just didn't know you did.
Apparently, man, we just supposed to work together some more.
Yeah.
I'm on your albums, you on mine. It's gonna be like that.
Yeah. So yeah, the track mega smooth like shit. After I mixed it, but I was just listening to that bitch for like 2 days.
That's cool, man. And first off, anybody who's been streaming any of our songs, any of the PoundcakeAmy story, like, you're awesome. Thank you. Keep streaming though, because we need to retire. we need that money.
See, I mean, shit. The better season 1 does, that just gives more encouragement to make season 2 even better, and it makes it so y'all ain't gotta wait 2 years for that shit, like a lot of animes.
They do be making us wait, bro. They do be making us wait.
Yeah. As far as since you did make the track, like, what was your initial thoughts going when you was making it, or was you just like, I'm just make some shit, bro? Like, I'm just try this instrument today, like.
For this one, I literally wanted to make something that, because Charisma originally was gonna have some city pop, like Japanese disco feel to it, and I feel like I really honed in on that Japanese side where I was like, okay, I got all these instruments complementing each other, even just listening some different tracks from different artists, be like, okay, like I could see where these sounds complement each other, but I couldn't really do the disco part in there, like, but I really liked. I personally like to let my melody shine more than the drums. I know that's very backwards for a lot of producers, because a lot of people tend to like their drums to be the core point of the thing. But I like my melodies because one, my melodies are my strongest point, and two is just I enjoy making melodies. Like I could do that for hours and hours and not be bored, and and look like just to see the different combinations you can do with melodies and bits of music theory. Like that's so fun to me. And like with charisma, it was a bunch of like my goal was to have a ton of tracks on top of each other, so I wanted busy music, and I felt like this track's very busy. Like if you have headphones on when you listen to this album, even the whole Amy story, like you listen to it, you hear all these different little details all around. Like, and it's cool, like just to see that even fits with this project well too. So yeah, I have fun.
I mean, that shit is interesting. 'Cause like I have been working on not making my drums be as loud, because I'm seeing like in a lot of kind of like upbeat dancier stuff, all the shit ain't poppy. Some of that shit got the drums kind of in the back. So like mixing this, that shit kind of did help come like, nah, the drums don't sound like they should be in the front. They just don't. It's smooth that I could just gauge that from listening to what you had made from it. So that's smooth.
But no, this one's one of my favorite on there. I'm glad it's a part of it. Folks, that was My Mom is a Great Chef. We're going to move on to the next one, which is Love in Every Meal. And you'll find another familiar face on there. It's me again. So let's get it. Wow. I don't know if I've ever really listened to that outro like in like a slowed down way where I'm like super focused on. I'm like, that's a really pretty outro. But yeah, loving every meal. What was going through your head when you were making it? How'd you? Yeah, we'll start with that.
On that, I was kind of biting you off charisma. Like, like you got all the rock shit. I was like, bro, I kind of want to say have a little rock feel on the Amy album too, bro. So yeah, that was kind of biting. So yeah, that's why that came from. And on this track, also it was like practicing using the bass as the melody instead of having the actual melody. So on a lot of these tracks, it was kind of practicing something. Like Mom is a Great Chef was the practicing of kind of not having your drums knock as loud. This was practicing the bass being a melody. And yeah, I really like how the shit transitions into the outro. I forget like what all it was in there,
Mm-hmm.
but I know it was like a combination of I I wanted you to play something. I think it was a few instruments from the that were played in the My Mom is a Great Chef, and then I
Yes.
know I added some on top of that. They blended very smoothly. Shit, I mean this man was playing guitar on there, like being mega smooth on this bitch. So yeah,
Nah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. When if you were to look at the stem folders from my session, I have like 6 or 8 different bass lines I sent this man. And so I was like, all right, cool. He's like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, all right, I'll try. I recently got a bass in it last December, and I've been hooked on it. I haven't touched it as much recently, so I ain't gonna lie, but I need to pick it back up. That thing's so fun to play.
Mm,
Um, it's funny. Fo has just recently called me what would you call me, a good bad influence?
yeah.
Every time we talk about music or some sort of equipment, I'll just mention, yo, I just got this, or oh man, have you heard of this? And he'll be like on the fence or something. And before I even finish telling him why I thought the product was cool, he's like, all right, I got it. It's on its way. I mean, dude, even like we were talking about just the difference between like a bass and a VST, like emulating a bass, and like, man, like
Yeah.
there's a difference. Like that live feel sound is just cool. Not saying that people who use VSTs are whack, because I use VSTs too. But man,
Yeah.
but there's just something about that tone, you know. It was just cool. And then and Foe even cleaned up my bass playing by chopping what I was doing, which was cool because I didn't even know Foe chopped at the time, or I forgot he did. Because I know he said he
Yeah.
used to sample in the beginning, like early
Yeah.
stages. But
Yeah.
so like hearing him chop my bass lines up, I was like, ooh, this sounds smooth.
Gwen is kind of yelling at me. She forgot. I forgot to mention that Gwen was the bass on Hi, I'm Amy. My
Mm.
bad. My bad.
Is that your first track with you actually playing playing a real
Yep.
bass on there? Hey, that's cool.
Yep.
Shout out Gwen.
Cause
Um,
I ain't know if I was gonna have enough time to get to a point where I could play something to make it onto the Amy album. But shit, I was happy I did.
that sounds smooth, man. Yeah, these bass lines, man. I like this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, as far as like the anime goes, from like even with the titles as it's going, is there kind of like a story that's being followed through? Like, you know, we got Hi, I'm Amy, obviously an
Yeah.
intro. Then we got Mom is a great chef and loving every meal. You know, you got the chef, you got the meal. Is there is there
Oh
kind of
yeah. I mean, it's telling you the story. I mean, it's kind of like the titles give you enough description to let you know where the story is, but it's vague enough where you can kind of fill in your own details in between what is or isn't happening.
that's cool.
So
I
yeah.
like
So
that.
I mean, so like by of course the introduction, I'm Amy. She introduced herself. I mean, bam. Her mom is a great chef. You can interpret that as her mom is just somebody who knows how to cook, or you can interpret that as she actually a legit chef.
Hmm.
Love in every meal, bam. You like she putting love in every meal, bro. Like she ain't playing, bro. Like yeah,
Speak louder. Uh, when like when it comes to this like, what are some of your goals and visions for just the pound cake story at all? Like, do you plan on seeing like this as a full blown anime one day, or you just gonna stick
yeah.
with the music? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, shit. Originally, the reason I made the album was because I wanted to do a webtoon for Amy's story instead. But when I started figuring out how much shit costs, like, oh, I got to pay an artist this much, and I got to do this, and it's like, oh, that's how much of a return you get on. I'm like, damn, this shit sounds like it costs a whole lot of money
Mm.
at the moment. And I'm like, that's something I would be interested in. But now I kind of more so feel like shit. I could just make it through. I use the mediums I have, which is music. I use that at the moment, to tell the stories. And I feel like at some point, I don't know which season, by which season, but I feel like it's probably gonna become where some fans, some people really like Amy, or maybe who really just fuck with me and they want to put the visual story to it. I feel like it's gonna have some fan created stories of it to illustrate that shit. Like we'll be saying shit on the internet of some fans love a story enough, they'll animate that shit. Like, yeah, I feel like that'd be cool. And
Yeah.
at some point, somebody might just reach out and be like, "Yo, bro, I'm down to animate that shit."
Artists,
Yeah,
animators, you heard that. You make something with the whole Pound Cake Amy story going on with it. Tag this man. Tag me in it too. I want to check it out.
yeah.
But yeah, do it. Do it. All right. This was number 3, loving every meal. We're going on to the next one, which doesn't have me on it, but I got some other cool people on it.
Yeah.
This one's friends and family discount. I always forget. Is it gratis?
Gratis.
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 All right.
Yeah.
All right. This is with FoePound, obviously. With me, with you, and Athena. And we'll get this one started right now. Let's turn it up. Let's hush DC. Yo, that's a vibe. I feel like I'm floating on that track. Like, big chill. Let's see how this one come about. I saw multiple collabs on this one.
Yeah. That one. What was it? I feel like I was kind of thinking of like, as far as the friends and family discount gratis. I mean, that track is pretty much like, it's letting you know the mom, she cooks for friends and family gratis. That just mean free, like for the free ski, bro. Like she be cooking for friends and family and shit. So yeah. But I was thinking like, when you gather with like friends and family and shit like that, an event like that, it's a lot of love. It kind of feels like you floating. So I was kind of thinking like one of the anime scenes where it's like, it's a heavenly scene where some clouds and shit is very bright, shit like that. I know when I did originally make the first section for it, it was like, I was like, bro, it don't sound right to have drums on here. And I know when I sent it to With Me With You, he's like, bro, I don't think you oh, nah, bro, it don't sound right with no drums either. And then I know I sent it to Athena. I think he did add some drums or something to it. I know he added a bunch of stuff, but I think he added some bass and some other stuff, but I don't know, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like we were floating anymore. It felt like, I guess, more so like a regular track, which I mean isn't a bad thing. It's just that ain't what we was going for.
What's your favorite part on this track? So
I'm not sure. It's difficult to say. This one is also kind of like, in a way, like my mom is a great chef. Like they feel like they just need to be appreciated as a whole, if that makes sense. So it's like difficult to say, oh yeah, just this one part, because it just feels like a whole as far as the track.
yeah, the placement of the instruments and just the whole, like, once again, you put your headphones on, listen to this album, it's magical. like you just hear all these little details everywhere. It's cool, man. It's an easy
Yeah.
listen, easy.
When I was describing to like with me, with you, and Athena, what I need the track to sound like magical was actually the word I used before I had even an idea.
That's
I was just
cool.
like, I know this shit needs to sound like magic.
Well, I think y'all got an A+ on that one, man. This is cool.
Yeah,
Like even while we're talking, I'm not like I'm listening to you talk, but I'm just like starting to fade away real quick. And just
yeah,
it's cool. It's cool. Friends and family discount. It's cool because now you're starting to see like you said, your vagueness, but not but with some direction. You know, like your mom, like the
yep,
mom is like a cool person, good cook, and
yep.
now with this next track, um, mom taught me how to make pound cake. Sounds like we're gonna get into Amy real quick, which is cool. So
Yeah.
I'm let's see how much more we got on this one. I think this one's almost done. Yeah, this is cool. And the workflow with me, with you, and Athena is pretty cool.
With me, with you. That man's pretty quick. Yeah. Sent whatever I was had at the moment. I think all I had was I think it was just the section like when the horns come in. I only had like that. I think it was like 4 or 8 bar loop or something like that at the moment. Like he hit, it wasn't the beginning part where I played some different chords and added the flutes and shit. So yeah, and then that felt like it was fairly quick. Like he sent his shit back. Like ooh, yeah. Cause I at the point where I was, it just kind of I just needed some shit to kind of texture the backgrounds and the side soundscape a little bit instead of like something that's just going to demand attention because it wasn't a demand attention kind of track.
Up next, we got our first FoePound exclusive on this project. Mom taught me to make pound cake. So let's go back to the beginning. Put it on pause. Raise that volume. Hush DC and let's go. Cool. Mom taught me how to make pound cake. What was going on in your head when you made this one? Some of your favorite parts? Let us know.
That one's supposed to get like a kind of like a game show feel, maybe kind of like a something you would visually see like a montage or some kind of like some montage music, like shit. If you just you showing a bunch of your outfits or something, you want to go dressing. Anything that you could like montage is supposed to get like the atmosphere for that, like while she's learning to make pound cake. So I mean, if you can guess, like this is the only thing she has been taught how to make so far. If the mom is an actual professional chef, or if she isn't, this is the first thing the mom has taught her. Or maybe you might perceive it as this is the most significant thing that the mom has taught her. However you decide to look at it.
But would you
But
say, oh, go for it, go for it.
oh, I just forgot now, bro. You just
Oh, my
messed me
bad.
up, bro.
I was gonna say.
I'm
Well,
talking shit. I forgot before.
would you say as far as when you're doing your character development and storyboard and writing who Amy is and the mom is, would you say Amy is a good cook like her mom?
Nah,
No.
she trash. She trash, bro. She
She's
don't know how to
trash.
cook, bro. Nah, she don't know how to cook. I mean, she know how to make pound cake now.
Okay.
Yeah, like, but you'll figure the rest of the shit out like later in the story and shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's a cool side note. That's
yeah,
I was gonna say I do hear the game show now that you're saying that. Like this track could be in like the background of like a dialogue in a game or something like that too.
yeah.
Like a lot of this is very video game sounding to me. Not video game sounding, but like the cutscenes and stuff like that. Like, I can see that being on here. Like,
Ooh,
that'd be cool.
yeah. I love video. I love how video game music sound. That should be hitting, boy. Like even like the when they be making like 8-bit sound and shit, that shit be hitting too. But I'm like, I feel like folks be sleeping on like video game music. Like you actually like be playing some shit or and just pay attention to some of the music. Like, bro, a lot of this shit be on point. Like,
is there a video game recently or a soundtrack that you genuinely like?
I think one of my favorites is the Pokemon Puzzle League 64. That soundtrack, like, well, actually, I just Pokemon music in general. This shit was.
Those composers are cool. Man.
Yeah, like, bro, I don't know what they shit sound like now, but I know back in the day, like, all that shit was hitting, boy. I remember crying to several tracks as a kid. Like, those tracks hit. You got any video game, sounds that you really like?
As far as video games go, man, like, I really loved a lot of like. To me, I think Nintendo has the best composers out of all the games, like the consoles and all that. Like, they may be lacking in certain titles here and there, but I don't think Xbox or PlayStation composers come even close to Nintendo exclusive ones. Like,
Nah.
Like, just even listening to some of the tracks from the Legend of Zelda series, like once again Pokemon series, Mario series, dude, the Donkey Kong has so many dope tracks. Like it's dope. It's dope. But yeah, like,
bro, that shit is like memorable because like when you said Donkey Kong, I instantly started thinking of one of the tracks. Like they got memorable, whatever they doing, how they composing their shit is like it vibes, it rides, but that shit got something memorable about the whole shit. Like that shit cool.
It's just funny when you playing a game and like just the music adds like like something to you. Like you hear that stuff speed up real quick, something's you gonna die soon or something. We run out of time. It's just funny how music can make you feel something like that.
Yeah,
that's cool though.
It is funny how without music, bro, the same scenes you probably wouldn't feel shit.
Oh,
if that shit had no background music.
Dude, I saw this one with I think it was Star Wars, and they took out the music because Hans Zimmer's a crazy composer. They took out his music and like it just doesn't sound as scary or hype as what it seems going on. It's crazy what music does. So shout out to you, Fo, and everyone else making dope music. Y'all making us feel something. That's cool. So you were vibing out with Mom Taught Me to Make Pound Cake. We got another FoePound exclusive on this one called Finally Found Happiness. Congrats, this one's almost at 100K. It's at 97K, so people go stream that one up. Let's get them to 100K before the end of the month. All right, let's jump into Finally Found Happiness. Boom. And increase the volume. Play. And let's do something. want to say, was this? Did you show me and my sister this one?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I was
Okay.
asking you about
Yes.
something as
It was.
far as the mix, or
It,
maybe I was adding
it was
something.
the outro, because I
Yeah.
remember the outro was my favorite part on this song. I was like, dude, like, I remember hearing this one, like, just as a listener, and just like, whoa, like, Foe has gotten so much like better as a songwriter. Like, dude, those bongos that you snuck in there, those are nice, man.
I stole those from you.
Hey, man, percussion elements. Maybe that's why I'm cheesing, but I was like, oh, like there's some rolls you do in there, and then even too every other like 4 to 8 bars, something different's happening. It's just like, oh, that part's not happening again. I gotta listen to this track again, um, or that's what it felt like. Or you layered things to where it sounds like something different's happening. But yeah,
Oh,
no,
it is.
this this
It
this
is.
this track's cool, man. Like, I
Yeah.
see why it's almost at 100K. Good work. Um,
Preach. It was the first track I made for the Amy album, because it was on like last year. Like, I believe I made it on Christmas Eve,
mm,
because I remember I dropped. This was the first track I made. I just dropped it on Spotify like 2 days later, because I know it came out December 26th originally.
mm.
So I was like, nah, boy, something was different about this one. Like, I ain't know I was gonna be able to make the Amy album this year, because I ain't know if my musical ability was gonna be there. But when I had made this track, I was like, oh nah, bro, the Amy album definitely happened. The musical ability is there.
Oh,
So yeah.
cool. I'm glad you saw that, man, because, nah, this track's smooth. It's, yeah. Even everything with the details with the laser sounds, like the zap sounds, those are cool.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I don't know anyone using those nowadays, but like you used it
Oh
in a way that doesn't sound corny at all. Like, it's
yeah.
smooth. Like, it has nostalgia, but modern at the same time, um, which I think is hella cool. Yeah.
I
What were
know.
some of my favorite parts, and just like what was your
Hmm.
process going with this one? Oh, you kind of shared some of that, but I don't know. Tell me
Oh
more about this track.
shit. When I started making tracks, shit, I was kind of just making something. I was kind of on this track. I was experimenting with making more dynamic drum patterns, because I'm like, I just feel like my drum shit's boring as shit, bro. Like a kick, snare, like a kick, snare. Like, nah, bro. Like, I was experimenting. Like, that's why you got I had the bongos, the fills, even shit. The placement of the drums might not have been necessarily how I might normally do it, but really it was experimenting with that. Like, let me make more interesting drum patterns that may be like somewhat difficult to follow, but at the same time not difficult to follow. Cause like, oh shit, okay, just threw that like a wrench in there. Okay, that shit worked for some reason. Like, so shit, really experiment with that. Experiment with song structure too. Like all right, we got the part where it drops. You got some drums and shit going, all that cool. Then you have the break of the cool whimsical part, and then you go back into some drums. Like, I was experimenting to see, does that structure even sound good? Like, but I was like, oh, this shit does sound cool going into that. So, and experiment with changing the drum pattern, so forcing myself to do more work instead of when the drums come back, instead of them shit sounding how they did before, change them shits completely. So that was interesting. So it was just a lot of experimenting.
Well,
Yeah,
that's cool, man. Like you said, all that, testing the boundaries, I think produced a really dope track. Um,
yeah.
would you say you have a favorite part in this song or not? Or is it kind of,
Mm, I don't know. I mean, I know this track has made me cry multiple times, but
hmm.
I don't know if it's a particular part. I don't know. Maybe I like the laser parts, because like I really like I really love G Funk. That's why I threw the lasers in. I'm like, bro, G Funk smooth as fuck, bro. And I just threw that shit in there. I'm like, shit, if I slip some G Funk anything in a track, I might throw it in there.
I thought it sounded cool. Um, as far as this being released beforehand compared to where maybe more of the storyboard was running through. I'm not even sure if the storyboard was running when Finally Found Happiness came out. Like, does this tie into the story as well?
Oh yeah, this one ties into like after she has found out how to make pound cake, finally found happiness comes after that. So it's like you can possibly assume that, hey, maybe she found happiness because she got to learn how to make some. Could also be happiness because like shit, if you learning something with somebody, you're gonna have to spend a certain amount of time with them, and it's also gonna be some, yo, this person taught me something, so y'all got that experience together now, so you're gonna experience some happiness after that. So
The next track, which is going to be Short Lived Happiness, featuring myself and the homie ISO. So let's raise the volume, play that, and there's DC. All right. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Get us in the mindset of this
this,
one.
this one's kind of supposed to be like kind of a sense of weirdness with like a sad undertone, like short-lived happiness coming right after finally found happiness. I mean, after you experience like some happiness and then you got some shit that might not necessarily be going the greatest way, it's gonna feel kind of weird. The track sounds cool. Some of the sounds kind of feel weird, like the bass kind of feels a little weird, kind of strange in a sense, and it's like that's an interesting bass that I choose to throw on this beat. So with everything how it's arranged and shit, I feel like it definitely gives that weirdness with the sad undertone perfectly. So yeah, y'all did smooth.
See, I ain't gonna lie with this one. I don't remember what I said. I'm assuming that do 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 is me because it sounds DC ish. Uh,
Yeah,
that
the
belly.
bell. Yeah, the bell. Yeah, yeah, that
um,
was.
that reverse effect at the end was pretty cool too. Like,
Oh, that was ISO.
I like
Yeah,
that. So,
he reversed the melody I played, I believe. Yeah, that was smooth touch. So
yeah.
yeah,
This one was cool. Like you said, like it does have like the way you worded it, man, is how it sounds. Like, this something feels off, but
yeah,
like you can hear the happiness like
yeah,
disintegrating. like,
yeah. It's supposed to like kind of like that roller coaster. Like I, and by the end of it, it's kind of like the weirdness is even more pronounced. Yeah,
mm.
I say. Yeah,
Well, ISO's one of the homies, so it's cool to see that you snagged him on there too. Um, as far as like the
yeah.
collabs, how'd you feel about just the team that you assembled?
Oh shit, with the collabs, shit, I felt cool for the Amy album. I was like, I ain't gonna reach out to nobody. Like, this has to be a pure. You want to be involved. Otherwise, I would have did that shit solo, or it would just end up being just me and DC the whole album, most likely. So yeah, I was just like, nah, bro. Like, this was supposed to be some special. So it should only be people who genuinely interested. Like if anybody who had reached out who said they was interested in working, I ain't tell none of them this, but if anybody who had reached out to me and said, "Oh yeah, bro, I'm down to work out." If they gave any pushback whatsoever on me asking them to change some or anything, I was gonna tell them I'm good, bro. Like I don't need you on the album. If they gave any kind of pushback like that, I'm like, look, nigga, you don't know what the vision is, nigga. Like, unless I spoke to you, like,
Yeah.
and I feel like DC would have been the closest person to understand it because since I spoke to him so many times about the details and shit, even with some of the brainstorming. So, yeah,
Yeah. It's
if someone, yeah, if somebody had that kind of talking to me about it like that, then yeah, I could be cool with some pushback. Like, oh, maybe it should be this, maybe that. But nah, if anybody gave some pushback, I was just gonna tell them, bro, we could just do something else because you ain't gonna be on the album, bro. Like,
Mhm.
nah. But yes, everybody who said they was interested. Shit, when I be like, yo, can you have this by this time? Shit, pretty much everybody, everybody gave the shit in a reasonable time. Cause I'm just like with this project, I'm like, look, bro, I ain't waiting on nobody. Actually, like in general, I ain't waiting on nobody. Like if I'm like, I'm gonna make this album, I'm gonna make this album. Whether you reach the deadline or not, I'm gonna finish it. I ain't gonna wait. I feel like that messed me up a lot before in the past, like waiting on people to be like, oh, yeah, bro, I'm just waiting on such and such to do it. So this shit, I ain't gonna release none yet because I'm just waiting. But nah,
Mhm.
and it's probably how it's gonna be for every Amy season. If people seem invested, then shit, I want you to be a part of it because shit, it's something special. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you could hear it in the writing, man. You could tell this meant something to you, and it's cool. And like, I don't think
yeah,
any of the collabs slacked at all. Um, all right, folks, we are 2 songs away from the end. We have "Losing a Mother Is Never Easy" featuring your boy, and then "Never Forget What You Did for Me," which is another FoePound exclusive. My bad when I said we were on our last one, because that was a lie. I lied to you guys. My bad. That being said, "Losing a Mother Is Never Easy" up right now. Volume up.
that track
Yeah,
smooth.
yeah. That's an emotional ass track.
Yeah, I cried to that track a couple times.
Losing a mother is never easy. So, if we're going with the story, it seems that weird feeling leads up to this title, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, what was your process mindset, favorite part?
Oh, this one. Shit. You could assume from the story that her mother has passed away. Losing a mother is never easy. So yeah, you can assume she passed away. You can also draw the conclusion that that weird feeling she was had was probably the mom might have been ill, or and maybe she didn't know if she was gonna make it or whatever. So Yeah, but yeah, we'll get here. Shit, it's in the process. Of like, damn, bro, either she just died, or it's confirmed she dying, or you can put it wherever you want in the story, but pretty much that. So with this, I just know when I originally thought about it, cause like each track, it was kind of like I couldn't even start on them until I had somewhat of a idea or somewhat of a picture in my head. I know with this one, I know I just told DC, I was like, I would need some. I know I said it has to be piano and harp, and I forget what else, but I know I said it had to be piano and harp starting off. I know you said that, and then I know I played something on top of that, and something told me, hold up, send it back again and play some more piano on top of what I just had. But only record it right after you've heard it only one time and then play. Some just told me that that's how it should be. And then when he sent that back, then I had some more shit on top of that, and then kind of finished it out. But like going with your gut, that shit worked. Cause I don't know why some told me maybe I shouldn't add anything else. I should send it back to him before I add some. And then that shit smooth. Like I say, people watching, bro. Some people be acting weird when you send some shit back more than once. Like some people be like, all right, once I send to you one time, that's it. But you shouldn't be afraid of, bro. Send that bitch back, add something else. Hold up, bro. Let me tweak this, bro. Send that bitch back 15 times if you got to. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to be like, all right, bro, let me send it back. If somebody acting weird about sending some shit back, don't send their ass shit, bro. just don't send them shit, bro. Like, just say, all right, bro, it's all good, bro. I'm gonna delete the track, but yeah,
Hey, words of advice from Foe. You heard it here first.
yeah,
Yeah, no, when you sent this one, I was like, okay, like, because you asked me, like, it was like you said, those interesting instructions. I was like, all right, because for me, I'm naturally curious when my homies send me stuff. I want to hear how it sounds, especially if it's not in a zip folder. I could check it on my phone or whatever.
yeah,
But then he said, nah, like, wait till you're ready to record, and I was like, all right, sir. you know, but like I was trusting him because I was like, I don't know any of my homies who are putting this much effort into an album, as far as like
yeah,
what it's supposed to make you feel. I
yeah,
got some homies that work hard. Don't get me wrong; they make some dope music. But like I said, talking with Foe back and forth during this project was like, this feels like a storyboard. Like it feels like a show. Like it feels like we're doing the background score of an anime. Like even just going from this, like you know, animes are like it's crazy how they can make you feel like, oh, everything's cool with that boom, like you know,
yep,
you know, and they got real people, man. Those frames and pictures and movement, like all that could be graphic and be like, oh, I didn't think I was supposed to see all that, but I saw it.
yeah,
Oh, and like the music, even for those shows, or a lot of those shows, man, are just beautiful compositions. But
yeah,
yeah, this one's cool. Like even just again with this one, no drums. Like it's cool. Like this is a very different project to listen to, and I think it's cool.
yeah. Shit smooth. I like the contrast of shit in general with the whole album. Like the contrast of like, all right, you got a couple tracks, no drums at all. You got like some different genres just kind of all throughout. Like that shit is I like the amount of contrast in the story as it should be because it's a story. That shit shouldn't be like just all one sound all the way through. Like that shit is that ain't balanced. That ain't how life is. Like that shit ain't all the way good days. You're gonna have the bad ones. You're gonna have a day that make you feel like that's good, but that shit gonna be different from yesterday's good. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I like how it doesn't sound. None of it sounds out of place. It sounds different. There's hella contrast, but nothing sounds like, why is this track here? Like everything's like, damn. Everything plays a part in this track, like this track list. Like it's cool. Like once again, your songwriting was next level with this one, man. Good work.
first your songwriting too, bro. What you talking about, bro? I mean, shit. Like this one, I ain't. I just had the initial idea. I didn't know how to actually start it because DC popped it off with the harp and the piano. I just knew for a lot of the track shit, I just knew the keywords that it needed to sound like or a type of emotion it needed to invoke or something like that. So yeah.
I mean, it worked, man. It was fun. I appreciate it, man. Like, yeah, it's funny because like I hear lines of like that sounds like me.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the emotion. Once again, I'm like, oh, like kind of bummed out. I'm like, what you
Yeah.
just listen to music? But
Yeah.
it's not just that, man. Like you put in effort and everything, and you know, I was glad to be a part of that. So before I start crying, we go on the last track, a FoePound exclusive. Never forget what you did for me. I'm butchering these titles left and right, boy. My
It's all
bad.
good, bro. She her mom a chef, bro, so you right at home.
She's a chef. All right, let's get it. Yes, yes.
See,
Yeah, let us know what was going on in your head when you were making this one.
this was the second track I made for the album. Yeah, this was the second one. With this one, I know it's supposed to sound like kind of chaotic, but like still not. So it's cool because like this is like a reflective track. Like I never forget what you did for me. Like I I'm dealing with some shit, but I'm looking at the bright side of it. Like yo, you did teach me some shit, and we're gonna see what's going on from here. Like the decision to do like even the guitar melody at the like beginning, like how it's like kind of lingering, like instead of like short notes like it is in this part, it's like longer lingering, kind of like to represent like shit. You lingering on some feelings and shit. Oh, during like this project in general, that I was experimenting with like shit, not just cutting the instrument off at the 4 bar mark, like let that shit drag over past the end of the actual bar and just make the volume like fade out on that particular instrument. It gives like some extra feel, or it makes the shit not seem so robotic. Cause shit, I know a lot of that shit be like feeling like cut and paste. I at the end of the bar, this sound is cutting off. I know in this project on this track too, like it was some let that shit spill over to the next bar and let it fade out,
That's
and
cool.
like vice versa. Let some shit build in. That shit is a cool technique. So I like that because I was practicing that shit on this track
I'm gonna
as
have to steal
well.
that from you. I'm gonna steal that from you on the next
Yeah,
one.
I mean that shit's so helpful. Like the losing the mother is never easy. Like there was a bunch of elements in that shit, bro. Like having all that shit just together at once, that shit was not working. But having like some of that shit slowly fade in, slowly fade out, it helped give everything, especially if you got a lot of instrument shit. It feel like it helps declutter the beat in a sense. Like even if I don't know what it is, but like sometimes about the downbeat area, like on the downbeat, and like a little bit after that, when you introduce like some new instruments and shit, sometimes it can feel cluttered. But if you had like just faded in like that first during the downbeat, maybe to like the middle section and faded a new sound in, you might notice that that shit don't sound as cluttered now. Just because cause it's like you gave the listener some prep time in a sense. And if you slowly fade that bitch in, that shit been sounding cool since I started doing it. So yeah,
That's what's up.
the way the track ends, I know I was debating on if I should have made the roads like last longer or not. But since it's supposed to be a short season, instead of letting that bitch ride out longer, because I think it would sound cool if that shit did ride out longer, like the tail end of that bitch. But it was like, nah, it's supposed to be a short end to it to let you know, like, this shit ain't over, bro. Like,
Yeah.
if it was more of a finale, it feel like that shit should have rang out longer. Yeah,
That's cool, man.
yeah,
Like even just seeing like how you have the different expressions of Amy on the album cover, like knowing that's gonna be something to expect when listening to this, you know, it's pretty cool.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, I don't know. People might not pay attention to those who pay attention. You, if you listen to the album and you looking at the album, you kind of see when. Of course, it starts on the happy face. That's all the way to the left. But if you listen to the album, you can actually hear and see when she's transitioned to the next face and so on and shit. So yeah, by this point, she's obviously at the very last face, the one that's furthest to the right. So yeah,
that's cool. Even using the emotions as like kind of a chart for where you're going with this project is cool.
yeah. So chill smooth.
Yeah.
Definitely glad for everybody who helped contributed. Period to the album because yeah, it's my sweetheart right here. Looking forward to season two.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool, man. Um, hey, as soon as you start writing, I mean, let me know, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, shoot. Do you have anything you'd want to say to anybody listening to the project?
Mm, not really. I mean, I probably just say I recommend you start from the beginning and not click shuffle
Mm,
if you want to get the actual experience. I mean, all the tracks are good. Like if you listen to them as individual tracks, I mean, tracks are they solid, they good. But I mean, if you want to get the whole experience, like I just start from number one and not click skip, like to get the actual experience. It feels different. Like when I notice when I listen to a random track off of it, I enjoy it. But when I listen to all of it, it I don't know, something about something just feels correct, kind of complete in a way. So, and the shit ain't long. I mean, it's 15 minutes. It was intentionally made short, kind of like like the pilot episode or like the first season of an anime. Think of it like a 12 episode anime or some shit.
mm-hmm.
Kind of like just testing the waters to see how people feel about it. Shit, season two, depending on how people react to season one, season two might be longer. That bitch might be 24 episodes. Might hit your ass with a 32 or something, bro. Maybe this shit gonna be a movie. I ain't no telling, bro. Like, yeah, but that shit was intentional and it did take a lot of effort to do this in general, like to be able to write the album, like the individual tracks, and to be able to write them in a way where it makes sense with other tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and to write it in a way that made it so the album loops pretty smooth as far as like how the last track ends and how the first track starts, even shit like that. So all this shit was a new experience. So it took longer to flush out some of the ideas, But since I have the ability now, season two should be something worth checking out and shit. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I'm excited to see what stems out of it because I feel like it's bigger than just an album we made. You know,
Yeah.
that's
I
cool.
like to be. That'd be smooth. I mean, I would like it to be like shit, new characters introduced. It'll be cool if the homies had some characters. They shit they can meet each other or some shit like that. Like,
Ooh,
cause
I want
yeah,
a character.
our
We'll have to talk about
our
that.
yeah, cause I mean our characters can overlap, so that'll be something smooth. But the homies gotta have characters and shit.
Oh, that'll be fun. We definitely gotta do a storyboard for that. It's gonna be cool.
Oh, you talking about for a character? You talking about you having a character?
Yeah, anything. I'm curious what you got, what you're thinking, what what to go from there. Like, cause
Yeah,
it's crazy. Cause now not saying that I wasn't involved or intrigued because I was but now it's just like all right, now I'm even more invested. You know,
yeah,
it's cool how the project just kind of pulled you in, or pulled me in just like that. I was like, all right, cool. You know, like I said, I have a feeling this is just gonna get huge real quick, and it's very different than what I've heard from a lot of other people. And yeah, man, I'm honored to be a part of it. And any future tracks we work on, man, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
same, same. Definitely interested to hear what season two is going to sound like and how much of her story is going to be told. So yeah, it's a. But I'm pretty sure I'll be brainstorming that shit with you whenever time comes. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got that month of July off, man. So I'm down to write during that time. So
Oh nah, bro. I'm not. Bro, nah, bro. These folks from the wait, bro. What you? Bro, this one came out this year, bro. Like, nah, the earliest they could possibly get a season two is gonna be next year.
okay.
So that's the earliest.
No, well,
So,
I mean, we still gotta develop the characters and scenery and
oh
stuff, and things like that. I'm not
yeah,
saying
that's
drop something.
oh yeah, the storyboard. Yeah, like shit. I don't know. I mean, shit. It depends on. We'll have to figure out how many characters, if at all, like how they meet, shit like that. So yeah, the actual whole Amy story, I got most of that
Yeah,
shit already. But it's
animations
like the
adopt us.
most. Yeah, I mean y'all should and look out, bro. Like do that shit. What's that? What the lawyers say? Pro bono. Look out, bro. Like yeah, I mean it'd be smooth if it was somebody who actually was just a fan and not somebody who just like yeah, bro. I do it for $7 million, bro. Like not saying that I ain't trying to pay nobody. I'm just saying it'd be better for somebody who's actually interested versus yeah, bro. I do that shit. Give me this much money.
Yeah, would love to work out some deal though, because
Yeah,
artists, those kind of artists, y'all create. I can't do that. And to see someone do something you can't do is just I see why there's money involved. Especially
yeah,
when you attempt to try it. Bad Photoshop's all I got, man. I ain't trying to do no one's cover art.
bro. Stick figures every day, bro. Stick figures all day.
Hey, some of these storyboards, that's what they look like. So it's all good.
Yeah,
You're just the
yeah,
mastermind behind it. They flesh it out.
yeah. I
And,
mean, yeah,
but folks, I'm happy that to say that this is the first interview. I don't know if it's a Sunset Session exclusive thing or a DC thing or whatever, but Foe was the first one, and we happy with it. Um, so go check out the Pound Cake Amy story, um, produced by the homie FoePound Production. Collabs featuring DC the Beatmaker, ISO, J Fatty, Athena, with me, with you. It's real cool, man. It's a vibe of emotions. It's all there. So yeah, be smart, enjoy it. Maybe tap into some feelings you didn't know you had, and go check it out.
that you didn't know you had. All right, that's cash right there.
hey, hey, like I said, I didn't know I was gonna almost cry on that second one. I'm like, wait, we just chilling. We have an interview. Why am I getting emotional?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is cool. I just want to say thank you for taking the time and always being a real one, man. Appreciate it.
Oh wait, I got one last question then.
Wow,
All right, if you got on the album, what would be your least favorite track if you had to pick one?
A least favorite?
Yeah. Everybody always say their favorite.
Everyone does say their favorite. It's weird because hearing you say it now, when we were talking about, I don't want to pick a least favorite, man. that's a setup of a question. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
mean,
all
everybody.
the tracks.
Exactly, bro. Which one do you like just a little bit less than the rest of them? Just a smidget.
I don't know, man. I'd have to even like, how do you be like, which one don't I like the most? Like, how do you go into that mindset of listening? I normally don't do that, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to think about that one.
All right. Well, that's a good answer then. You can't. I mean, like, if I ask you the question, you just like off the bat, oh yeah, bro, mom taught me to make pound cake. It's like, all right, bro. It's like, all right, like you just had that bitch off the hip. Then that kind of let you know.
I was like, I like this. I genuinely streamed this album, dude. Like on my drives at work, like or the day job. Like I stream it.
Yeah.
And we don't skip.
Yeah. I mean, see, people. That's a way you can get somebody, bro. If they say they like your album, just ask them afterwards, like, yo, bro, which track your least favorite? See how fast they respond. Well, shit, bro. To be honest, bro, it's track number 4, number 5, number 6, and it's because of this, and like, bro, they was holding it. Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Nah. That's funny. But I don't know. I genuinely like this project, man. It's a good one.
Smooth.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's a wrap, man. This was a cool interview.
Yeah, pretty
Thank you
smooth.
for everyone watching, chilling. If you just discovered Foe, well, you're in luck because he has a ton of music.
A little bit.
He's gonna be dropping some more. Got some collabs on my future projects too, and current projects. So if you like both of us, if you're a producer too, or singer, rapper, whatever, you want to collab with us, reach out.
Yeah.
We're some pretty sensible people. I think.
This guy. Depends on the day of the week, bro. If I ate or not. Yeah.
Once again, we appreciate y'all. With that being said, y'all take it easy. All right? Cash.